call, I've got a special guest with me, who I'll be introducing very shortly. Due to a new partnership I've actually got introduced to, and we'll be going forward with. So if you do like funded accounts, you do like your kind of no spreads, which is something you haven't really heard before, right? So that's definitely going to change up the industry a little bit. It's going to be a new way of actually kind of going into this kind of funded account route for you guys that I'm going to be actually introducing. So without further ado, all I'm going to do is actually introduce you to my guest speaker, who's actually going to run through the company, run through the dashboard, and show you exactly why you should be partnering up with this company also. So Jerry, once you're ready, take it away.
Thank you very much. Obviously, very welcome, guys. I suppose from ourselves, Alpha Capital, I suppose, what are we? So we're, I suppose, very much your usual prop trading firm, but we're kind of taking the market with a bit of a twist. So I suppose the big thing is, if you're looking at us compared to anyone else, what makes us stand out from everyone else? What makes us a little bit more different? Well, I suppose the reason why we are a very sustainable and viable option as a kind of an alternative prop firm is by a number of reasons. So I suppose broadly, we are from a financial perspective, we are very much superior in terms of how we lay out trades, in terms of commissions, in terms of spreads. So for those of you who don't know, we don't actually charge or apply commissions on trades executed, and our fills are generally one of the quickest in the markets with raw spreads. So I suppose as a dual tandem, effectively, that means that no commissions means no additional fees on transactions. And secondly, then with the raw spreads is you're getting the best available prices in the market. So you'll see with a lot of retail brokers and exchanges, they'll have the bid offer spread. But our spreads generally match everyone and exceed the majority by some distance. So of course, in the back end, what does that mean at the end of the month? Well, I suppose even from a no commissions perspective, for those who would be trading kind of six-figure accounts, you're trading saving 3,000 to 4,000 minimum a month in transactions alone. So I suppose when you look at it from that way, it's a very good hack in terms of how you would get to those 8% targets, because of course, the higher the commissions, the higher the spreads, the less income you're making or profit you're making on those trades. And of course, then you're giving part of that back to the provider, back to the exchange, etc. So by doing that, we're obviously giving traders the best possible chance of passing, best possible chance of success. Because for us, it's not about trying to milk it back and take it back off you, but I suppose giving you the best avenue to hit your targets, achieve what you're looking to do, and obviously pass the criteria that's obviously expected of you. So in that as well, we obviously have a fairly detailed dashboard account metrics, which I'll obviously take you through in a few moments. Very useful for performance management. So in terms of assessing your own performance, evaluating if there's certain issues that you're identifying that maybe you can't get over. So let's say, for example, risk reward ratio, or if there's certain assets or certain markets that maybe you're not doing terribly well in. All of these metrics will give you those data points so you can actually critically analyze every aspect of your performance to give you the best possible outcome. So again, from our perspective, it's very much a system whereby us as traders built the system for traders. So it's built by traders for traders to allow you to, I suppose, get the maximum out of it, out of your potential, out of your performance, and knowing that in the back end, we're able to give you the best service that we can possibly give. So I suppose that's where we obviously look at it. Now, I know obviously from a day-to-day perspective, we do have support, live support continuously through Discord, through websites, through social media as well. But another thing we do that I don't believe anyone else is doing is risk reviews. So for example, those who are failing challenges or have maybe failed a couple of challenges and are struggling with certain aspects of their accounts, they can request risk reviews free of charge, where we sit down with the client for 45 minutes to an hour. We go through every aspect of their account. So everything from performance to risk to profitability right through. And we'll obviously give them feedback. We'll give them constructive areas of where maybe that they could improve upon or to assist them. And then obviously allows them to maximize their potential. So it's not just a case of, for us, it's we get you to do a challenge, and then if you pass, you pass, and if you fail, you fail. We obviously want to give people the best possible opportunity for success. That's the way we operate. That's the way we always will be. And knowing that in the background, well, if there's people that are maybe on the threshold of passing or very, very close to obviously getting through, can we give them that little bit of extra support to get them over the line? And of course, when they're over the line, they're funded then. And obviously things can obviously evolve and develop very, very quickly from that. So I suppose they would be kind of the 3-4 elements, I suppose individually and obviously collectively from a business perspective, how we feel we're a viable alternative, because I don't think what we're doing, many others are doing. And that's how I think we can kind of change the system. So it's a case of developing your trading plan and then obviously maximizing that to the potential as well, you know.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So in regards to the kind of assessments, that's one thing I definitely found beneficial, because like you said, many people either do a challenge, fail, and just either try again, or they just give up.
Okay,
And in regards to doing a risk assessment, and again, I've talked to various other people in the company, and just hearing the success rate after that is very impressive. So that's definitely one of the things that stood out to me.
Yeah, like even there, in the last couple of weeks, there's guys that I've done risk reviews with. So I suppose over in the last week or two, maybe 10, you're talking 50 to 60% are probably on the threshold of passing. Considered beforehand, that's probably somewhere between 10 and 15% of those group of individuals. So you can see initially already, if they take on board the feedback and the assistance, if it gets them over the line, well, then that's everyone wins. The trader gets obviously commission, they obviously get paid their salary, and as a business then we can grow and develop. So it's effectively both of us are growing and developing together, which I believe from a long-term longevity perspective, that's the best way to be. And I think even with the support as well, I think it just benefits everyone, you know, and there's always room for improvement with every organization. But when you put your best foot forward, it obviously leads to a lot better results in the short end, you know, as well.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. So in regards to the dashboard, if you can actually kind of give us a quick overview and just show us exactly how it works and the benefits of this dashboard also.
Certainly, yeah. So if I just take you through the dashboard here. So I suppose the initial offset really is around about maximizing performance, maximizing structure, maximizing the results in the back end, and of course, maximizing your results. Now, just before I take you through the dashboard, I'm actually going to take you through the rules of the organization, because I think that's actually better to start there first, and then we can migrate from that to the dashboard. So I suppose firstly, first and foremost is knowing with every organization, with every prop firm, there's obviously clear objectives that must be met. Okay, so some have initial targets, some have phase 1 targets, phase 2, some have losses, daily losses, etc. So for ourselves, we're very much in the essence of knowing that, right, we need to be able to assess people's performance, assess and critique. Are they good enough? Are they sustainable enough to pass? Now, with that, we do two initial phases. So the first phase is called the evaluation, where we effectively assess client's performance over a 30-day period. Now, of course, if they meet that 8% target and less than that, that's perfectly fine too. So we do phase 1 is an 8% target, of which traders need to trade for at least 10 days in the month, right? So that gives us sufficient data, allows us to assess performance, and of course, of once they're hitting that 8% target, we're happy. Okay. So if it's a case traders have to passing challenges in, let's say, 4 or 5 days, then they can trade on reduced lot sizes of 25% of their current position sizing. So that way they're minimizing the risk, but they're also giving us sufficient data as well. So that's phase 1, which is the evaluation. Phase 2, which is the verification process. We reduce the profit target by 4%, and we double the time to 60 days maximum. Okay. So as we speak, of course, with that one, if you're passing it in 10 days or less, it's a case of just seeing that out. So in theory, even though it's 30 and 60 days, traders, if they're efficient and profitable, they could be funded within a month on the specific account. So whether it's a 50K, 100K or 200K challenge, it all really depends on the challenges that they're electing to do. Now, we also have very kind of strict drawdown losses. So as a business perspective, there's no point us taking all the risk by giving capital if traders can't prove sustainability, can't prove some sort of modest efficiency, right? So with that, we have a maximum total loss of 10%. So basically, traders can't afford to lose anything over 10% in I suppose, aggregated total capital. On then the daily basis, we obviously have a daily target of 5%. So what we're effectively looking for there in simple terms is capital preservation in terms of not over leveraging your account, not risking your account, not seeing a 100K account and needing to make 110,000 or 10K profit in 5 minutes or 50 minutes or an hour, whatever the case may be. It's all about knowing what your objectives are, knowing what your risk thresholds is from both a daily and total perspective, and then being able to develop a trading plan that works for you in sufficiency with hitting those targets and hitting those objectives. So from our perspective, it's all about building consistency, building discipline, building a structure around how you see the markets and how you trade, and developing those results. So we would rather see guys and ladies passing in 25 days or 30 days than trying to pass on day 1 or day 2, because it's all about risk. It's all about risk reward, capital preservation, and building those accounts gradually. That's how we perceive it as a long-term objective for traders. Now, in terms of profit splits, we very much look at the broader essence of accounts. So we obviously look for 80%. Now, I think in time, as traders develop and as traders profit, we will obviously look to scale that back. But 80% is effectively where we are at the minute. Now, of course, with that, we do pay out twice a month. So we pay out every 2 weeks. The 14th of the month and the 28th of the month we pay out, and we do give maximum capital growth up to 2 million. So it shows that, right, if you're profitable and you can show sustainability, we will back you. We will continue to back you once you're kind of showing that development, showing that consistency, and showing that profitability. Because from our perspective, we're happy to give capital to traders once that they prove themselves. And once they prove themselves, the sky is the limit for them in that sense. Obviously, with what we talked about there, the zero commissions is very important. It's one of the hidden gems that I feel we offer in terms of making sure, right, we're not charging an extra 0.5% or 1% on accounts. Therefore, clients can hit those targets easier. Therefore, there's less of an obstacle for them to succeed. So we want to make sure things are as easy as possible, straightforward as possible, but again, showing longevity, showing consistency. Tradable assets, again, like every other prop firm, we offer indices, FX, commodities, you name it, we pretty much have it as available asset classes. I think in time, we would be looking at adding additional asset classes. So I suppose the likes of your cryptos could be considered an additional asset class, and obviously maybe stocks as well would be a secondary tool to develop. So obviously it's a little bit more selective initially, but over time that will obviously develop as the company develops, as our client base obviously develops as well.
Yeah, 100%. Traded indices on zero spreads is a game changer.
Yes, it is.
If anyone's traded indices before, they know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly, and particularly as well for the intraday volatility as well. So like we're seeing stock markets, I think this year alone, stock markets have had 50, 60 days in the S&P where we've over kind of a 2% volatility spread in the day. So when you're seeing those type of movements in the markets with lower commission, zero commissions, raw spreads, it allows traders to obviously get in, get out quicker. Obviously, the execution is very, very quick with the liquidity provisions in-house. And so it's all about developing that, making sure that's sufficient, making sure it's running properly and according to plan. I suppose with that as well, for those who are wondering, we do allow to trade through news. We do allow holding trades overnight and over weekends. We do allow EAs. However, there is the odd exception to EAs where if it's a market maker or something like that, we would obviously review that in-house and see if it's allowed and permitted. And of course, if it's not, we would explain why. We do allow hedging and stacking, and we don't allow martingale. So martingale, again, from our perspective, it's all about capital preservation, minimizing risk. When you trade under the martingale trading strategy approach, it means that as your drawdown increases, your position sizing increases as well. And from a sustainability perspective, we don't actually allow that. We don't see that's a viable strategy for prop trading, for prop firms to be successful in, because it just leads to if a trader has one loss and then that's continue to increase, obviously loss becomes 2 and 3 and 4 losses, and then all of a sudden you're kind of bordering on max and total daily losses. So we're trying to create the idea of sustainability. Efficiency is very much central to kind of what we're looking at here, but also making sure that if there's something that we're not offering, we have that approachability whereby, do you do this? Do you do that? And if we don't do it, we can always look to add it in. So I suppose one of the big things lately is people have been requesting payouts in crypto. So that's something that we're obviously getting working around now, and hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll have that as I suppose as a method for clients to take out withdrawals as well. All right. So that's pretty much Alpha Capital in terms of its approach. In terms of I suppose the dashboard, just bear with me now for a moment. I'm just going to get my second link up here. Lovely. So in the dashboard, this is where I suppose all of the key data is going to be extracted from. So when I said there in the kind of the early parts of my commentary, about being able to evaluate your performance, being able to assess your performance, and being able to, I suppose, critique and analyze your work. This dashboard, we feel, very much allows us to do that. So allows traders to assess their risk reward, allows traders to look at the asset classes that they're trading and how those different asset classes are performing, both positively and from a negative perspective. So in the dashboard here, we obviously have the dashboard tab. We've got Get Started. So in the Get Started, this is some very, very basic introduction videos. So we have a dashboard overview basis to how to effectively utilize the dashboard. We have an MT5 login, so we trade through the MT5 platform. So of course, being able to utilize MT5, being able to maximize that, we have a very, very clear video there as well. And some very, very basic videos like how do the financial markets work. And that was a big thing that from our feedback with clients, we said, what are kind of the main things that people struggle with? Well, one was identifying areas of interest. One was identifying trends. The other was understanding how the different financial markets work. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been adding videos, and we will continue to add more videos. So over the next kind of 6, 8, 12 weeks, we'll have this video archive being much more extensive in nature. So we're going to continually adding videos. We're going to continue adding to the portfolio to allow traders to get the most out of this dashboard. Now, when we look at the account analysis, the first thing that I would always say is look at the account metrics, because that'll give us the kind of the basic rundown. Okay, so it'll look at the equity curve. How is the equity performing? So in this account here, you can see very, very clearly. Obviously started off at 100K, is now trading up at around about 6.5% net. So today we were at 6.5%. The account has gone back to 6%. So it allows us to, I suppose, equate the movement in the performance, both in a dollar perspective, in terms of the monetary elements, but also in terms of account ratios. So we're obviously looking at the percentage element too. Now, I suppose with the account metrics, the account statistics, it obviously gives the quantity of trades, it gives the number of lots, it gives the success rate, and it also gives the average profits, average losses. So we're always looking at risk reward. We're always looking at, right, what's your average positions earning you or making you in terms of profits, and what is your average losses costing you. So I suppose with trading, as you know, Jay, yourself, it's all about maximizing your profits, minimizing your losses, allowing those trades to run as much as possible, and maximizing the risk reward ratio as much as possible. So obviously here as well, we do account for the average risk reward ratio as well. So it's allowing traders to obviously get the most out of their performance from an equity perspective, but also in terms of the idea of risk management. So that was something that we focused on very, very strongly at the beginning. Now, again, with the objectives, we have the objectives here in the right-hand corner. So your trading days, your minimum of 10 trading days, your profit figure, your maximum total loss, and of course your maximum daily loss as well. So you can assimilate that very, very clearly to see, am I within my thresholds? Am I close to breaking my daily loss, for example? So one kind of prominent example would be that if you were kind of close to breaking your daily loss, well, the key thing would be to stop, wait for the daily rollover, take a break from trading, and come back the following day. So it's just making sure that you're inherently sticking to the objectives, the rules that's in place, and making sure you're obviously maximizing that from a potential perspective as well. So we do obviously have the insights here as well. So obviously looking at all of the different trades, which trades are performing better or worse than others. So you can see here, some trades are performing great, some maybe not so great. So it allows you to critically analyze that and evaluate that. As well, from a risk insight, concurrent trade lots, so it'll give you the concurrency of the trading positions and lots, which again allows traders to successfully evaluate performance. Now, of course, it's all about evaluating performance at the end of the day. So if it's a 100K account, or if it's a 50K account, or 200K account, whatever account size it is, making sure that your risk is proportionate. Okay, and that's obviously something as well that's quite important. So you'll see here, obviously you'll be able to evaluate performance. So you'll be able to assess your lot sizing, your stop losses, your position sizing, and of course then your P&L ultimately at the end of the day. So what are you getting in? What are you risking? What are you getting back? And what's the overall output of that? So that's metrics. With that as well, we have the account analysis. We have, and this is where we feel it kind of allows us to compare ourselves to competitors. So we can see position sizing, the long and short ratio. So do you prefer to trade long positions than short positions? What's your performance in long positions v short positions? So you can see here, average, the results quite high in long positions, not so good in short positions. So you can see here the bias is along the bias here would be that this trader does better in buying trades than selling trades. So it's been able to assimilate that very, very clearly as well. Balance, of course, and then obviously position sizing as well. But also with that, the results by day. So you can see here how some traders perform better on different days. So you can kind of see that there very, very clearly. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, but Thursdays, they generally do quite well. So you can kind of see there with the opens, the closes. So the closes, the kind of the session closes is obviously more concurrent. So the daily rollover, the opens obviously much better. So you can kind of see there 1600, 1600, 350. So you could actually say that broadly speaking, traders perform better in the early parts of the day. So it all really depends on the trader in question, being able to maximize that in terms of the performance and the output, and making sure then you're creating that sustainable plan. So same again with the long short comparison. So it allows you to look at different assets and evaluate what you're getting out, what you're risking, what you're losing, and obviously maximizing that to the maximum ability. So again, trading days analysis, we've literally kind of thought of everything within this. The results by position size. So of course, do traders, if they have a higher position size, are they more likely to be maybe fearful in the markets, or do they maybe lose more money off of higher position sizes? So you can kind of see that there. These are the FX positions, fairly stable overall. The indice positions here, obviously the 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 lots position sizes of 25. Traders doing exceptionally well trading off of 25 lots. But as you can see, if they trade off of 75 lots, the performance isn't just quite as good. So you could arguably say there, when they trade higher position sizes, maybe their performance isn't just quite as good. So it allows you to look at all of these different avenues, all of these different aspects to, I suppose, get more information about you as a trader, be able to critically analyze your performance from every aspect of trading, and being able to, obviously, if there's certain issues that you are identifying, being able to correct them, being able to fix them and maximize the performance. So that's the account analysis section. So with that as well, we obviously run with Alpha Capital. One thing I didn't mention earlier on that we do also as well, we run monthly competitions. So we run every month we have free competitions which traders can enter. Top 3 finalists of the month performance will get free evaluations. So that's the prize. So we do it for fun, to kind of encourage this idea of community aspect. So if we encourage the community aspect, we're making it a little bit more fun so people can participate, people can join the community, and it's not all serious every second of the day and every day of the week, which we obviously feel is quite a good thing as well. So you can kind of see here the leaderboards. So the competition this week, you can see that there's, if we can kind of go through them very, very quickly, you can kind of see that there's our higher performing traders of the month. So you can kind of see here this guy out in top, 261k off 100k challenge, very, very impressive. But even some of these guys here performing very, very well this month in the free challenge, of course, as well. So we have a wide number of contestants every month, but it's all to encourage community, all to encourage a bit of fun. It's not everything has to be very, very serious all the time as well,
I like that.
Yeah, definitely so. And then I suppose the last thing then is the TradeMate. So this is their tools, other set of tools. So we have economic calendar, we have a manual trade journal where you can add feedback into it if you want. We have our economic calendar for obviously the Forex markets, the stock markets, crypto markets, etc. So people can obviously join. And they can obviously assess the news, the events that's coming out on a daily basis, by different sector, by different country, economy, etc. as well. So with the market screener, we also have stock performance as well. So obviously down the line, as we develop and as we grow as a company, we'll be looking to add more assets to the portfolio. But obviously we feel like this would be a very, very useful tool. So being able to assess stock performance as well. Stock performance, then you can do Forex performance. And then you can also look at the crypto performance. So allowing you to utilize every aspect of the trading assets, maximizing potential and getting the most back out of your out of the information that's presented in front of you. And then, of course, obviously, we do have heat maps. So they're obviously quite common nowadays, how certain currencies are reacting off each other. So broadly speaking, you can actually see how the South African Rand is doing quite well across the board. If we were to look at the I suppose the Kiwi or the Aussie, you would say that the performance has been quite mixed. So you'd see today that the Aussie is down pretty much across the board. So you could see that the Aussie performance is quite mixed as well. So it allows you to visualize which assets are maybe outperforming other assets as well. So if you're trading FX, then this is obviously quite a relevant tool that could be utilized within trading performance as well, And then, of course, the last thing really then is the market news. So what we actually do is you can add or remove profiles. and you can follow the latest financial news within our TradeMate platform. So for example, if you follow Bloomberg or Live Squawk or Zero Hedge, all of those aspects, all of those latest news and developments will be feeding through on the dashboard as well. So again, information, getting it as quick as possible, being able to understand and interpret the information, and again, being able to maximize the performance in the back end. So that's pretty much the TradeMate platform, you know. So that's pretty much our dashboard from start to finish.
Definitely good stuff. So yeah, I mean, when I went through the dashboard myself and everything, I was very impressed by it very quickly. Just little things like this. Again, you've got everything kind of in one place where you don't have to kind of have various bookmarks and links and everything just to go here and there and whatever else. You just kind of come on the dashboard and kind of just consolidate everything. So definitely economic calendar and the news were definitely one of my biggest favorites when I actually did look at the dashboard myself and go through it. So yeah, definitely like a well needed kind of consolidation.
Absolutely. And I think as well, when traders are trading, the more information they have as ease and the ease of access to that information, the better I think they'll become. So some people trade technicals, some people trade price action raw, some people trade higher time frames, some people trade lower time frames, some people even trade news and fundamentals. So we're trying to, I suppose our goal is that every trader's trading style is going to be different, but we want to give everyone as much information as possible, whether you're in each one of these different, I suppose, genres or types of traders, that we're given something to you that you can utilize or help you succeed, regardless of the time frames you trade, regardless of the confirmations you use when you're executing trades, and of course the information that you're using as well, you know.
100%. Definitely a good overview of the dashboards.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Very good.
Yeah. So guys, literally, you've got everything in front of you. And again, like I said, I've partnered up with this company just because I've looked at what they're trying to do. Again, the zero spreads, all these kind of things. Again, it's in their best interest that we do good. And it's in their best interest that people are making money on the platform. So all these tools are being provided for us as traders. Like Jerry said, it's built by traders for traders. So again, you might get various companies that might start kind of funded prop firms just because they just want people to pay, because they already know the kind of pass rate is not so great. So they're just going to make money from that. But here at Alpha, if you do fail, then again, someone's following up with you. They're giving you that one-to-one kind of saying, look, this is probably where you went wrong. You could do this better. You could do that better. And then again, we already said about the kind of pass percentage after those kind of calls. So there's various tools here that I was like, you know what, I actually like this company. And again, I'm not one to ever partner up with anything I'm not going to personally use or I don't vouch for. So again, once I saw the plan, I've had conversations with various people. It just makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, I hope you've definitely got value from this. If you do have any questions, again, there'll be links at the bottom of this video or wherever else you see it. And then you can also reach out to me personally. And again, I could kind of pass you on into the contact of Alpha as well. So if you do have any specific questions, then we'll get those answered for you. But hope you have enjoyed this video. And until next time, guys, peace out.
Thank you. See you later, Jay.
Take care.